Continuing the pursuit, going the opposite way on Cooner. Blacked out, stolen vehicle. You can see that Night Sun from LAPD. He is now in Ventura's jurisdiction in Simi Valley. Now heading the opposite direction, going southbound on Cooner, back towards the 118, under the 118 freeway, and again heading now, continuing south through Simi Valley. We are on the eastern edge of Simi Valley, just south of the 118 freeway. Where is that? So he's now gone all the way back into Santa Susana Pass. So taking a live look at Santa Susana Pass Road as he's made his way through the eastern edge of Simi Valley, now continuing south and eventually southeast back towards the 118 freeway, towards Rocky Peak, or potentially Box Canyon Road. He has the option of taking Box Canyon south or heading up the pass back to the 118 freeway, which will take him eventually back into the San Fernando Valley, or he could take it westbound back into Simi. He's got a number of options coming up here, but for the time being, as he traverses Santa Susana Pass Road, he is pretty much in no man's land in the middle of nowhere near Rocky Peak. You can see that night sun from that LAPD airship overhead. So far, only LAPD involved in this, even though he was in Simi Valley's jurisdiction. The pursuit now continuing of a stolen vehicle out of the San Fernando Valley. This was on the 101 freeway. He got off at Topanga Canyon, took it northbound all the way to the 118, and we might be heading right back to where he came from. But over the course of this pursuit, in the last 20 minutes, he has ran a number of red lights, at times going the wrong way on surface streets. Here comes the 118 freeway, and we'll see what he does here. Just off the nose here, he's going to have a decision to make in the next couple of minutes. You can see the vehicle's blacked out, no headlights, no tail lights, impossible to see through these windows. Obviously very dark out there, and tricky for even the driver there without any lights. This is a pitch black neighborhood, not much of a neighborhood at all, quite frankly. The only light right now being supplied is by those black and whites behind the vehicle. Here comes an LAPD unit in the oncoming direction. We've seen that a couple of times already, and also LAPD attempting to keep the road lit up for him, hoping he does not wipe out here. Very dangerous to be doing these speeds up the canyon here without any headlights. It's really anybody's call as to how this is going to play out here, but this is a dangerous situation nonetheless as he continues to get closer to the 118 freeway. In fact, that intersection is going to be coming up here in just a few more seconds. As you can see right there near the bottom of your screen, there is the end of Santa Susana Pass, and he's taking it into the canyon, it looks like, where the road continues. Changes names up here as he makes his way into the canyon. That might actually be, he may have gotten off at Box Canyon or potentially staying on Santa Susana. Not really sure just yet. He is still on Santa Susana, and it looks like he's going to come out on Topanga Boulevard. Topanga Canyon Boulevard just off of his 12 o'clock here as he continues now eastbound on Santa Susana Pass. Not slowing down at all. All over the double yellow lines there. Not a whole lot of traffic, obviously. A very quiet area out here, fortunately. Once again, if you're just joining us on abc7.com and our 24/7 streaming apps, Chris Christie up in Air 7 HD as we continue to follow this LAPD pursuit, which started in the San Fernando Valley, off of the 101 freeway, eventually up to the 118 into Simi Valley, now reversing course here and continuing on Santa Susana Pass, where he is approaching Topanga Canyon Boulevard. Back in the San Fernando Valley, he has disregarded every rule of the road, and he is doing so in pitch black darkness without any headlights or taillights, no brake lights to speak of here. You can see a spike strip set up there. It looks like he was able to get around that. Now going southbound on Topanga Canyon, where there is going to be a few more cars on the road here. We are seeing a lot of law enforcement, not only behind him, but in his path. That's been going on for the last several minutes. A lot of law enforcement set up ahead of him. There has to be at least a dozen units dedicated to this pursuit right now as they try and stop him. Again, that was what appeared to be a failed spike strip attempt. Picking up a little speed here. Again, he hasn't stopped for many lights, but so far it's all greens on Topanga Canyon Boulevard, hugging that left lane there, at times even going the wrong way in the earlier parts of this pursuit. And there you see it once again over the paint as he just weaves around anybody in his way. Again, continuing southbound through Chatsworth, doing about 50 to 60 miles per hour at least. Close call there, threading the needle as he continues southbound Topanga Canyon Boulevard. Possible one of those rear tires might be a little wobbly, a little bit hard to tell. We're a little bit far away, still trying to catch up as he continues through that red light there. Southbound Topanga Canyon Boulevard at a high rate of speed. This is where LAPD is going to face some challenges as they try and keep up with him. So, as we've seen in the past here, there have been a number of units ahead of him. We'll see if that trend continues. But right now, LAPD still holding on. That primary unit only about 10 car lengths behind him as he continues at about 60 miles per hour, blowing through all of these traffic signals. And it looks like there may actually be somebody in the passenger seat. Appears to be a female passenger in the passenger seat as he continues southbound on Topanga Canyon Boulevard. No sign of any LAPD units up ahead as far as we could tell just yet. LAPD's airship still overhead as he passes Nordhoff Avenue. That night sun temporarily turned off here. One has to wonder if we may be at a point where they decide to put this into tracking mode. As far as we could tell, though, the pursuit's still on as that lead unit has his lights and sirens going. Give me, oh, I see it. Yeah, that is Nordhoff. On Nordhoff, now coming up on Mason Avenue. Eastbound Nordhoff. The driver, you're saying? Yep, yep. All right, LAPD now making the call to temporarily suspend this pursuit, which is consistent with what we were starting to see there. LAPD's airship still overhead with the night sun off. Those lead black and whites now pulling back as they turn off their sirens, but he's continuing to blow through these intersections at just above the speed limit here. Now again continuing eastbound on Nordhoff. where it appears this pursuit has been abandoned by LAPD. We'll see if that airship stays on him. It looks like the airship is continuing to track him for the time being. So we'll kind of follow along here, stick with it, and see where this puts him. But he has been driving dangerously, and again, without any headlights and taillights, still poses a pretty big risk to the other motorists and pedestrians in his path as he comes up on another major intersection here. Again, eastbound Nordhoff, not stopping for the red light, going right through there, going around traffic. Entering another commercial area here as he continues eastbound on Nordhoff. Next major intersection is going to be Tampa Avenue, where he is going to have another red light here as he almost appears to be speeding up a little bit. There's the Northridge Mall coming up on Tampa Avenue. Cross traffic there and speeding right through Tampa. Eastbound Nordhoff at a high rate of speed. Driver and passenger inside the vehicle. A stolen vehicle, not sure where it was stolen from. No other details on the origination of this pursuit, only to say that it started about a half hour ago near the 101 freeway. It was on the freeway for several minutes and then has now made his way back from Simi Valley back into the San Fernando Valley, where we are now firmly in the Northridge area. Another cul-de-sac here. At a high rate of speed, jumping the curb there. Looks like he's in a driveway. Whoa. Is that another surface street here in a mobile home area? Almost looks like he's looking for a spot to maybe dump the vehicle and hide out. And he is continuing through this neighborhood. Very, very narrow streets in this mobile home park. Not a lot of through streets, doing a big loop here. Looking for that hiding spot. Slowing down. Certainly looks like he could tell that he has, at least for the time being, lost law enforcement. Airship still overhead. And that's going to be back on Tampa, I think. More cross traffic through the red light there, back on Nordhoff. Or did he cross Nordhoff? He's on Nordhoff. He's still on Nordhoff. Looks like that might be Parthenia there, continuing eastbound Nordhoff. Slowing down a bit here, probably doing right around the speed limit. Another major intersection coming up on Reseda Boulevard. He's got the red light, lots of cross traffic here. Coming to a stop for the first time at Reseda Boulevard. We'll see if he blows through here again. Right next to that semi-tractor trailer near the bank at Reseda and Nordhoff. He's on the eastbound side of Nordhoff, and we'll catch a glimpse of him here as he has finally come to his first pause at the crosswalk, eastbound Nordhoff at Reseda. Stopping for the red light. And a southbound turn onto Reseda Boulevard. Southbound Reseda under the tracks, approaching Roscoe Boulevard. And once again, as you could tell, no sign of law enforcement, as if they have officially put this into tracking mode, which means he could dump the vehicle at any time and potentially run for it. There really doesn't appear to be anything in his way from just ending this all right away, but at least for the time being, he or she is continuing the joyride through the San Fernando Valley, making a turn off of Reseda Boulevard there. We'll try and get across street here in just a second. That may be Saticoy. A turn off of Saticoy into a residential neighborhood, coming back northbound towards us, again, noticeably in the pitch black darkness of this residential neighborhood with his headlights and taillights off. Into a parking spot, possibly. There he is, look at that. Thought he got away with it. Here comes the lights. The lights are back on. And after attempting to dump the vehicle, he has changed his mind. He has changed his mind. The lights came on, and he has recalculated. Going to be very interesting to see how this affects his driving. If he's going to continue this pursuit, now spooked by that night sun, we'll see if he picks up a little bit of speed here. Again, we believe, difficult to say if anybody else got out of the vehicle there, but we believe that there are still 2 people inside the vehicle. Looks like the passenger's still in that passenger seat. Driver continuing this pursuit. Again, this is not technically a pursuit anymore, but still leading police on a joyride here that is now in tracking mode, with the airship doing a bulk of the work here. Again, this is a grand theft auto suspect who has been driving very dangerously now for the better part of a half hour. And you gotta wonder what is going through his mind now. Back on Reseda Boulevard, northbound Reseda, just past Nordhoff Hospital, continuing once again, right around the speed limit. At times, maybe speeding up a little bit here, but for the most part, you can see he's doing about the same speed, maybe just a little bit over, as I mentioned, as he passes some of this traffic here. Anytime there's anybody in front of him, he immediately jumps over the double yellow lines into oncoming lanes at times, just to get around traffic. Again, there's nobody really pursuing him here, but he is desperate to keep moving. Continuing northbound Reseda, just past Nordhoff Street. definitely picking up a little more speed here as he continues northbound Reseda Boulevard through Lassen Street. Back in the, let's call it the, I want to say it's back in Granada Hills, sort of. Still south of the 118 freeway. He's approaching the 118 here probably in the next minute or two. So we'll see if he gets back on the freeway or continues north into Porter Ranch. In any event, he is continuing to drive fairly recklessly at a higher rate of speed than anybody would be comfortable with, and it would not surprise me at all to see if LAPD decides to re-engage here. And if not LAPD, if he does decide to get on the freeway, if he gets on the 118, California Highway Patrol will have a decision to make, and I would not be surprised at all if they engage this Grand Theft Auto suspect again, who has been driving pretty dangerously, and with not that much traffic on the freeway, a much safer terrain for them to pick up this pursuit once again if they choose to do so. So LAPD's air support right there. Night sun off, but you saw he wasn't afraid to use it. The minute that driver stepped out of the vehicle, lights came on and away he went, back in the vehicle. And again, look at that. There is a patrol unit. That's CHP actually right there at the interchange. Cross traffic, a close call there. Through the red light, a close call with several vehicles crossing the intersection, and he is continuing northbound past the 118, and this is now Reseda Boulevard, just north of Rinaldi is where we are in Porter Ranch. Passing Aliso Canyon Park now, off to his right. A quieter part of Reseda Boulevard that will eventually come to an end here. Vertical's good. It's going to get dark up here, and there's a lot of trees too. Once again, rapidly approaching the end of Reseda Boulevard, where he will be on much narrower streets into a very residential section of Porter Ranch. But right now, you can see very little traffic on Reseda and no sign of law enforcement, which makes you wonder again what his ultimate intention is here, whether he's going to abandon the vehicle or try and find a hiding spot, or continue to up the ante and force the LAPD to make a decision here. He's coming up on Cessnon. Left on Cessnon, going westbound on Cessnon Boulevard. Picking up a lot more steam now, again, continuing westbound Cessnon Boulevard at probably close to 65 miles per hour at least, and coming up on Porter Ranch Drive here in just a few more blocks as that LAPD helicopter continues to track his each and every move through Porter Ranch here with not a whole lot of escape room for him. Certainly he's got options, but up here there's a lot of dead ends and not a whole lot of through streets. It's a very residential neighborhood just north of the 118 freeway, which is ultimately where he's going to have to head back towards unless he dumps the vehicle or finds another hiding spot. Unclear, obviously, whether there's how much fuel is left in that tank, but again, it's a stolen vehicle. This is going to be Porter Ranch Drive. Porter Ranch Drive through the intersection, continuing westbound on Cessnon Boulevard. Cessnon eventually coming to an end here where it's going to be all residential streets into a gated community. And turning around, almost looked like he was going to ram the gate, turned around, now going back east on Cessnon Boulevard. Once again, we'll see if he decides to make that right onto Porter Ranch Drive or just retrace his steps all the way back in the opposite direction here, making a southbound turn on Porter Ranch Drive, back towards the 118 freeway. Let's see what he does here and see if we spot any black and whites up ahead. So far, no sign of any police activity ahead of him as far as I could tell. Looking out the window from Air 7 HD, you can see a quiet Porter Ranch Drive on a Wednesday night as LAPD continues those tight orbits around this vehicle, following his antics here as he continues southbound Porter Ranch Drive through another intersection. Had the green light there, but eventually his luck is going to run out. So if he continues running red lights, we've already seen a couple of close calls here. Now approaching the 118 freeway once again here, and this is a part of the valley he has already traversed. In fact, in the earlier parts of this pursuit, he took Topanga Canyon Boulevard all the way to the 118. Some more cross traffic here, making a wild left turn there and narrowly escaping that cross traffic. You can see he barely even braked. Now southbound, that is going to be DeSoto, I think. I think he's southbound on DeSoto. Am I right about that? And LAPD now about a block. Oh, wait, that's CHP actually. California Highway Patrol now lighting him up. About a block behind him through the red light there, and CHP thinking very carefully about getting involved here, and it certainly appears, at least from the rear, that their sirens were on. We'll see if that maintains true here. There is a primary unit in position with two other backup units. Pull back a little bit. I just want to see how close he is. Keeping their distance, not engaging just yet, but certainly poised to take over this pursuit as he continues, I believe, southbound on DeSoto. DeSoto just past Rinaldi, is that right? On Rinaldi, he's on Rinaldi. Eastbound Rinaldi off of DeSoto and continuing to blow through these intersections with California Highway Patrol now just about a quarter mile behind him. Bank 5. Thank you, thank you. Widen out just a bit. I just want to get my bearings here. I think we're just north of the 118 freeway, eastbound on Rinaldi. Just past Chimeneas, and you can see California Highway Patrol still keeping their distance. Not choosing yet to re-engage, but certainly following from a distance. Eastbound Rinaldi, just past White Oak. Excuse me. Yeah, eastbound Rinaldi, just past White Oak. Still pushing at least 45 to 50 miles per hour on Rinaldi, just going a little bit faster than the rest of that traffic, but really not a whole lot of traffic to speak of. Still relatively light through a red light here. And again, that stolen vehicle remains blacked out, relying solely on those street lights, but just so dangerous with the lights off. You really can't overstate how much more dangerous these pursuits are when there's no traffic, when there's no headlights on in the middle of the night like this. So you can see continuing, looks like he had another red light there he blew through, and CHP doing their best to follow along from a distance here. Copy that. Was that for this or for that? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Was that Havenhurst he just passed? Still eastbound Rinaldi, coming up on Woodley Avenue. As he continues through the San Fernando Valley, I can tell you that not only CHP, but LAPD is also in the general area, in the vicinity here, as he continues eastbound, heading back towards San Fernando, coming up on the 5 freeway here in just a little bit, 405 I should say. He's going to have some options ahead of him here, including to take the freeway or take us into Sylmar. He's making a right turn into a gas station. Into a gas station, indicative of well, obviously maybe running low or just cutting through. We'll see what happens here. There's LAPD, and he still has a little fuel left, and look at that. He is now going back in the opposite direction. You can see all of those LAPD units that I was talking about now lighting him up once again, and it certainly appears that this pursuit is going to be back on. Let's see if that holds true here. But you saw about a half a dozen units in position to execute that felony arrest. And now we'll see if they can keep up with him as he continues now westbound on Rinaldi. Thank you. What's our fuel situation? Copy. Thank you. If he continues to drive along the same streets repeatedly, which is certainly what he seems to be doing, without a whole lot of turns, you have to wonder if LAPD may be setting up for a spike strip at some point here, maybe along Rinaldi or some of the adjoining intersections. We'll see what they decide to do here, but lots of opportunity as he continues to drive in a straight line, paralleling the 118 freeway, westbound on Rinaldi, heading back towards the Porter Ranch area. In Granada Hills, heading westbound. The mere fact that he pulled off for that gas station makes you wonder whether he's starting to run a little bit low. Again, just to reiterate, this is a stolen vehicle. LAPD closing in a little bit here, just about a block behind him, as they continue to track the suspect from the ground and from the air. Again, his lights are still out as he continues westbound on Rinaldi, approaching. Oh! A wild left turn there, a left turn heading southbound now on White Oak. And he was really coming close to that. He had the red light there, and he almost went head on with that car. Anyway, southbound on White Oak. Traffic still relatively light here, but we are now southbound. Coming up on Chatsworth. Picking up a little speed here through the stop sign. Thank you. Oncoming lanes of traffic going the wrong way on White Oak, southbound side of White Oak. Once again, if you're just joining us live on abc7.com and our 24/7 streaming apps, we are continuing to follow a dangerous pursuit that is now in tracking mode, but has really covered a wide stretch of real estate here in the San Fernando Valley, at one point even reaching into the Simi Valley area before turning around and kind of doing circles here in the San Fernando Valley. Back on White Oak, southbound now, stolen vehicle with the lights out. LAPD and CHP monitoring this pursuit. LAPD thinking about re-engaging here, but again, CHP and LAPD both keeping close tabs on him, and that LAPD air support helicopter calling out his location as he continues to drive recklessly through a number of major intersections. Two people, we believe, inside the vehicle. At one point, the driver stepped out of the vehicle thinking he was going to just take a walk, but then the night sun came on and the pursuit was back on. And now turning off of White Oak, we'll try and get across street here. Looks like it may be, just a second, Glen Hill. Glen Hill. Eastbound Glen Hill in a very residential neighborhood here. Now southbound southbound Encino. Through Nordhoff, continuing southbound, appears to be an older model Honda Civic hatchback. And here comes the night sun once again. LAPD's airship turning on the night sun, taking another peek through that windshield. We've got it, we've got it. No ICOM, FYI. I mean, I don't hear anything. Okay, I've got you, Dave. Sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Much appreciated. I'll let you continue to call those out because I'm going to lower. Lower here when we go live. What was the last? Thank you, thank you. And what? Copy that. Copy. Thank you. Slowing down. The vehicle slowing down. These turns are appearing much more random. And the vehicle now coming to a stop. And there comes the night sun. We'll see if he steps out of the vehicle or continues the pursuit. We have got to wonder at this point whether he is running out of gas. How do you say it? Got it. Doors open. Driver's side door is open. Suspect pulling up his pants and now going to go for a run to see if he can hide out in this neighborhood. We are at Amistoy and Raymore. Through the neighborhood, and we'll see if LAPD's airship can keep a close eye on him there. Very difficult with all of the trees and foliage as he now runs through this neighborhood. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, he does not know where he's going. I was wondering maybe he's familiar with the area, maybe he lives here or knows somebody, but he is now running through somebody's front yard. Appears to be a complete stranger. Jumping fences, and away we go here, continuing to trot through these front yards. Just off of Amistoy, the pursuit coming to an end, but no law enforcement set to take over this foot pursuit. They're going to have to move into position because now he could pose a real danger if he decides to break into somebody's house, God forbid. So we'll see if he finds a hiding spot here or potentially resorts to some other measures here. Now jumping a wall, it looks like, heading into somebody's backyard. No, didn't jump it. He didn't jump it. Still in front of this house, running out of steam here, maybe prepared to give up. There he is. And police pulling into position. The driver proned out in the driveway. And now it looks like this has come officially to an end. They will methodically take him into custody here in the next several seconds. Who said that? Thank you. What? Is it Crown Vic? That's a black and white. On the right? Oh, no, you're right. Copy that. That works, thank you. Okay, cool.